I will start the live now.
Yes, go, Marissa.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yay. Wow. I see a lot of cameras, a lot of faces. This is wonderful. A warm welcome to Commune Chef cooking class brought to you by Your Right and Commune Kitchen. My name is Xing Yan, and I'm the founder of Your Right. Your Right is a cooking app to give you lots of ideas from Asian to Western cuisine. You can download it for free, App Store or Google Play Store. So today we are going to learn two beautiful dishes with Payal. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with her. And I'm a big fan of her. We've been doing this a few times, and each time it's so enjoyable. So before we start, just to let you know, this is a cook along section. So you've already received the ingredients. We're going to go through step by step, so you will able to know the whole preparation and the cooking and the dishing out of the two dishes. And if you want to ask any questions, it's encouraged. You can do it either just by unmuting your microphone, asking Payal the question, or you can also type in. If you have assistant, you can also ask them to type in the chat box, and we will answer the questions as well. So let's start cooking. Payal, please bring us to your kitchen.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, fabulous. Welcome to my kitchen. I am so excited to see you this morning. A lot of you know me already, but the ones who don't, I'm just going to do a quick introduction about myself. My name is Payal, and I am the chef and founder of Commune Kitchen. And today we will be doing a Thai cooking class online. Like Xing Yan said, if you have any questions, just type them in your little bar, ask your questions, and Xing Yan will be asking them immediately. We are going to get started by prepping the ingredients first. But before we get started, just a couple of things that I missed out in the recipes. What was that noise? Okay, one of the things that I missed out in the recipes, it was actually a typo. I mentioned that we need 600 grams of bok choy or pak choy in this recipe. We actually just need 400 grams for 4 people. But if you want to use it all today, you totally can, not an issue. But if you want to save 200 grams for later, you can. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the chicken that we're using today. We are going to be marinating the chicken slightly in soy sauce and cornstarch. So if you've got some light soy sauce that looks like this, go grab that now. And if you have any cornstarch, or some of you call it corn flour, if you've got that, go grab it now. We'll be using both of these, but if you don't have them, it's okay. We can just put some salt in the chicken to marinate it. Now, this is not in the recipe because it's not a traditional thing to do. I am doing it because it's become a habit for me. I have been doing Chinese cooking for years and years and years, and this is a Chinese-inspired Thai dish. Shall we get started? Give me a thumbs up if you've got everything ready. Okay, super. Let's do this. We're going to get started with the chicken first. Let me grab that from my fridge. Go grab your chicken now.
So the first dish we are going to make is the sweet basil chicken with cashews.
Yep, and we're going to start prepping both the dishes first. All right, so I've got my chicken right here. I've got chicken thighs today. If you're using chicken breast in this recipe, you can. It's just that you have to remember not to overcook your breast when you do this. I am going to start by chopping my chicken thighs into bite-sized pieces. So let's all do that. My chicken thighs have already been prepped and cleaned. I have taken all the fat off them, and they are actually quite clean. There's barely any fat on them. So cut them into bite-sized pieces and do that right now. So we can start by marinating our chicken first. Okay. Is everyone on task? Give me a thumbs up because I can't hear you. Good. Shinyang, it's awfully quiet today.
I'm just looking at the chopping. It's beautiful.
Just a little heads up, I have kids in my building. We're on the first floor and often they run around and play in the area, in the garden outside, and it gets noisy. So if it does get noisy, I'll get the camera to move inside. And we'll change our position. Okay, I'm almost done. Is everyone else done? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Awesome, you guys are faster than me. Okay, all right, we're gonna place this in my bowl right here. And I'm gonna wash my hands while you guys are finishing up. And give me a thumbs up once you're ready and we'll start marinating.
We recommend for convenience to buy the already cut or chopped chicken in the pre-packed.
I never recommend anything pre-chopped, whether it's vegetables or meat. Always try to buy meat that is it's packaged cleaned, but whole and not chopped up already, because chopped up meat, it kind of dries out. Applies to vegetables as well. Vegetables lose their nutrition when you chop them up and then put them in a packet. So try to buy it whole. I get mine from the Meat Club. It's an Australian online store and their chicken is fantastic. Not endorsing them, just saying that's where I get it from. Okay, is everyone ready? If you are, give me a thumbs up and we'll get started with the marinating.
Yes, I see thumbs up.
Okay, fabulous. So we've got soy sauce. You don't need a lot. You only need about a tablespoon of light soy sauce, not dark. Dark is mainly used for color. Light is light is where the flavor is, because it's got salt in it, lots of salt. So a tablespoon of light soy, and I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of cornstarch. Now, if you don't have access to cornstarch at home, use any starch you've got. You can use potato starch, you can use flour.
Payal,
Right.
why do we always add cornstarch or type of starch to marination?
Okay, now cornstarch in a small amount like this is mainly added so your sauce sticks to your meat. When it's added in larger amounts, flour or cornstarch, sometimes it's added to meat during the marination process in larger amounts. That's when you want to deep fry your meat and crisp it up a little. Now, traditionally, when this dish, this is a very popular street food in Thailand, and every street hawker in Thailand probably has their own version of this dish. And when they do this in Thailand, they deep fry it. They add a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch or flour, give it a good mix, and then they deep fry it in hot oil. And then they do it again. They do the stir fry again a bit later. That's the reason why you add cornstarch. Here, we've added only a teaspoon, and that's basically just so our sauce sticks to the meat. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you, Payal.
Okay, good. All right, I'm just going to give this a good mix. Okay, and we'll set this aside. Don't refrigerate this. Let it sit at room temperature while you are prepping the other ingredients, okay? Just gonna set that aside for now. And we'll move on to our vegetables now. Get your knives out. Get your chopping board ready. I've got a paring knife. I've got a chopping knife, a chef's knife here. And I am going to lay a piece of cloth underneath my chopping board so it stays still and doesn't move around. It's always a good idea to do that so it doesn't move around. That way you don't cut yourself. Don't have accidents in the kitchen. All right, let's start with our vegetables. Right here, they're here. Okay, now we're gonna get started by chopping our garlic. In the beginning, I talked about our bok choy. This is what I have. If you've got baby bok choy, that works too. I've already washed and rinsed it. If you haven't rinsed yours, please do so now, but keep it whole. Don't cut it yet because we're just gonna have it later on. Mine has been washed already and it's drying in my colander right now. I'm gonna get started by chopping the ingredients for my chicken first, and then we'll prep the ingredients for our bok choy, which is really very simple. I've got about 10 cloves of garlic here, which we're gonna get started with first. Now put your garlic down and then press it with the side of your knife. That way it opens up the clove and it's much easier to peel it. Much faster to peel it this way.
I tried this technique the other day at home. It worked really well.
Yeah, good. Here we go. See how fast that comes off? Without any fuss. Now we're adding 10 cloves of garlic to our chicken recipe, and we're adding about 6 cloves of garlic to our bok choy. This is going to keep vampires away, your spouse away, and even your neighbors away.
Hopefully the virus too.
Yeah. Now garlic's really good for you, you see. Very good for the immunity. All right, I'm done with my 10 cloves of garlic for my chicken, and I'll start chopping it up very finely. If you don't like the flavor of garlic too much, you can reduce the amount, but I love garlic, and so I always add 10 cloves. I stick to the recipe.
And do you have recommendations on when to actually like use sliced garlic and when to use minced garlic?
But I think that's personal preference. I love garlic, so I do both minced and roughly chopped in different recipes.
Cool.
It's really personal preference. If you like large chunks of garlic in your food, make it a little bigger, chop it a little bigger than I am right now. But if you want it to disappear in the dish and just one flavor, then chop it fine like I am. Is everyone on task? Give me a thumbs up because that's the only way I know you're on task. Good, okay. I'm done with my garlic. And now we're gonna move on to some chili padi. Okay, I have got 3 chili padis here. Now these are very hot. Use them wisely. You can use anywhere between 1 to 3 chilies. I'm using all 3 because I love chili in my food. Just make sure you don't touch the seeds when you're chopping.
We have one question regarding garlic powder. So
Yep.
if we have some garlic powder at home and we don't really know what we can cook with it, is there any dish that comes to your mind that we can use those garlic powder?
Yes, when you're marinating your meat, Mexican food has a lot of garlic and onion powder in it. So if you look up taco recipes, a lot of them ask for garlic powder and onion powder as a very common marination ingredient. Either ways, you know, anyway, whenever you're doing a Western kind of marinade, if you add a little bit of garlic powder, it enhances the flavor of the dish or your meat. So do that. Marinate your meats with garlic powder.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Pepper. I've got a red pepper. Now, traditionally, they don't use red pepper in this recipe. They use long red chili peppers. They are not exactly hot. They just have a touch of heat to them. I didn't want to make this dish overpoweringly hot for you, which is why I chose red peppers today. But if you enjoy spice in your food, the next time you do this, do it with red chili peppers, the really long ones. They look a bit like jalapeno peppers, but they're actually sweeter. Now, this is how you de-seed a chili pepper without too much effort. You put your, a bell pepper without too much effort. You put your thumbs onto the crown and you push it down. And then you open it up. See that? The seed portion just pops out, and then you can shake the extra seeds out.
Wow.
And there you have it. See, there's no more seeds in there. Get rid of any white bits in there. And now you can start chopping it. You can either slice this or you can cut it into cubes like I am. I was told that I chopped too fast, which is why I'm trying to do it slowly today. Yes. Yes, you can use frozen garlic. It just doesn't have that punch that you find in fresh garlic. But if you've got it at home, why not? Just use that. My peppers are done. I have an onion. I'm going to move on to that now. Now, in the recipe, it says half an onion. That was half a large onion. I am using one whole onion here because my onion is tiny.
Do we have any preference between red onion or the yellow white onion?
You can use any you have. I personally prefer red onions over yellow onions because they're sweeter.
I see.
Okay, just give that a rinse. And now I'm going to chop my onion into large cubes. Okay. All right, done. Just break them up a little, separate them. I've got a lemon here. If you've got a Thai lime, I couldn't find Thai limes. They're actually quite hard to find here. I can only find Malaysian limes here. I actually prefer these over Malaysian limes because they don't have a lot of juice. I'm just going to use a regular lemon. I just need a tiny bit, so I'll just cut that up and have it ready. That's just for flavor. Okay. And the last thing I need to prep today for my chicken is my Thai basil. Now I have a basil plant outside in my garden. That's where I get mine from. This is Thai basil. See the purple stems? That's how you know it's Thai. I'm just going to put this in a colander, give it a quick rinse, and then I can start taking the leaves off. And that's what you need to do as well. Just give it a good rinse, and then you can start to take the leaves off.
Sometimes in supermarkets, we just see like labeled, the basils are labeled as sweet basil.
Yeah.
Yes. Are these similar to the Thai basil that you have?
No, sweet basil is, most of the time when they are labeled sweet basil, they are talking about Italian basil. Thai basil is always labeled Thai basil in the supermarket.
Okay.
Okay, it's actually hard to find Thai basil in the supermarket. I think Cold Storage has it, Fair Price doesn't. If the best place to find Thai basil would be your local grocer in the wet market. Golden Mile has it because it has a Thai supermarket. Yeah, Golden Mile, you don't have to go all the way to Golden Mile to buy your Thai ingredients. Most wet markets here actually have Thai ingredients available in 1 or 2 stores.
What's the difference between
Payal, is there a difference between Thai basil and Thai holy basil?
Yes, there are many different kinds. There's several different kinds, not many, several different kinds of Thai basil. This is Thai sweet basil with purple stems. Then they've got Thai purple basil. They have Thai lime basil, lemon basil. They have a few Thai purple basil as well. So there are a few different ones.
So Thai holy basil and Thai sweet basil, are they the same?
No, they're not. The flavor is slightly different.
Okay, I think in the recipes we actually put down Thai holy basil.
Yeah, that's fine. It's hard to find though. Thai holy basil is hard to find here. So use what you can find in Singapore. This is Thai sweet basil, which is what I could find. And even if you go to Golden Mile, they only ever have one basil there. They don't have the different kinds of basils there. Okay.
Yes, Golden Mile is like the mini Bangkok.
Yeah, and I wrote down Thai holy basil in the recipe because it's the most traditional to use in this recipe. Okay, what I'm doing here is just pulling the leaves down from the bottom of the stalk. So I'm holding my stalk upside down and all I'm doing is just pulling the leaves out.
And what if you only got a sweet basil, the Italian type, is it okay to use it here?
Yes, yes. If you can't find Thai basil, it's fine. Just use your regular basil that you've got at home.
How long have you had for your basil plant?
My basil plant, I've had it for 3 years now, and you can actually, replant your basil. So, these ones here, I can cut them. I can show you very quickly how to do this.
Cool.
Get a pair of scissors, okay, and get cuttings from here. So basically just cut the stems that still look good and fresh at an angle. See
the top part.
Yeah, the top part. So about 4 or 5 inches of the stem. It's called a cutting, and then you plant it back in your basil pot. And this will grow. In a week's time, this is going to grow and it's going to have big leaves. And that's how I've grown all of my basil. I've got 4 pots now outside, and there's so much out there. Tons and tons of basil.
Do you need a lot of sun to put them under the sun?
Yeah, basil needs about 6 to 8 hours of direct sunshine to grow well. So yes, it'll grow really well if you get a lot of sun in your balcony, but if you don't, it's going to die. It's going to wither and die.
I see.
Yeah. And both Italian basil can be grown in Singapore as well. I've got both Italian basil and Thai basil in my balcony.
Very nice.
We found a great deal on Thai basil at fair price in the plant, $8.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
On the plant?
Yeah, the whole plant, $8.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, they've had a lot of plants recently, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I bought some oregano yesterday that was labeled thyme at fair price. Here we go. I'm ready with my basil. So you need a lot. You need a good handful of basil. The more you have, the better your dish is going to taste.
So the kitchen smells really great now.
It does, actually. Okay. Now, if you're all on task, give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. One last thing we need to do before we move on to making the sauces is chopping our garlic for the bok choy. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloves of garlic for my bok choy, and I'll finish chopping this as well while I'm at it. So if you haven't done that yet, do that now. We'll apply the same technique as earlier. Press your garlic down. peel and chop. Okay, and after this, we will move on to making the stir fry sauce. And there's only one stir fry sauce we need for the chicken today. The Bok Choy recipe that we're doing today is really very simple. It's just blanched bok choy with fried garlic. And we'll just use some oyster sauce to enhance the flavor of the bok choy. Okay, so finish chopping that. Chop it fine again.
Sorry, Payal.
Yes.
I was just wanted to share that we are actually broadcasting live on YouTube as well at the same time for those who just want to watch. And we have over 50 people actually watching us on YouTube.
Okay, wow. You're making me nervous now. How many do we have on Zoom today?
44 in total.
Okay, cool. So more than almost 100 people today.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. All right, so we're done with the chopping. I'm going to make the sauce now. Is everyone on task? If everyone's done with chopping, I'll move on to the sauce. Give me a thumbs up if you're done with the chopping. Yes? Awesome. All right, so we're going to move on and make the stir fry sauce now. For the stir fry sauce, you need oyster sauce. I'm using vegetarian oyster sauce, but you use what you. I'm using fish sauce. I am using ketchup manis. Ketchup manis is a sweeter, dark soy sauce from Indonesia. If you don't have ketchup manis, just use regular dark soy sauce because we're using this just for color, okay? And we are using some sugar, okay? I'm gonna use the oyster sauce first. Need a tablespoon of oyster sauce in there. Goes in. Done with that. 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, which has salt in it, lots and lots of salt. Fish sauce, if you guys joined me last time, I remember mentioning that fish sauce is made from anchovies, fermented anchovies, and salt. So it's got a ton of salt in it. If you've got fish sauce in a recipe, you can actually skip salt in it. And my ketchup mayonnaise, I only need about a teaspoon because this is what I'm adding for color.
If we don't have ketchup mayonnaise at home, is there any alternative we can
Yes,
use?
You can use dark soy sauce for color.
Great. About the same amount?
About, yeah, exactly the same amount. You take a teaspoon of dark soy sauce.
Okay.
Okay, and finally,
a tablespoon of oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of ketchup mayonnaise or dark soy sauce.
And I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. The sugar is going to do 2 things. It's going to caramelize my dish, and it's also going to give it the sweetness that it needs. So 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. All right, done with that. I'm just going to give this a good stir. Very simple sauce.
Payal, can I use brown sugar?
Yes, you can. You can use brown sugar. You can use coconut sugar like they traditionally do in Thailand. When you use brown sugar or coconut sugar, you just have to remember to add a little extra because refined white sugar is sweeter than the other two.
Good to know.
All right, this is done. And now we're going to move on to cooking. I'm just going to go in front of the computer and talk to everyone before we get started. So bear with me. All right, everyone. Okay, is everyone on task? Give me a thumbs up.
We're just switching back the camera back to Payal's kitchen. Yes. See, Payal, can you see everyone?
I'm trying to, yeah. I'll just get the grid. Yeah, there we are. Okay, fabulous. If you're on task and if you're done chopping, give me a thumbs up. See a lot of thumbs ups. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get started with cooking. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Do we need to do anything there with the computer?
So now we have completed the task for the first, for the prep.
All right, let's move on to the actual cooking process now. Okay, come on, my cameraman over here. Closer. Closer. All right, get ready with your equipment. I actually gave out a list of things you want to keep ready today for the class because someone suggested it. Thank you for that. Great suggestion. I have got my handy dandy wok again, and we're going to get started by making our chicken first. So bring your wok onto the gas stove and heat it up first on medium heat. Keep your oil ready. I'm using coconut oil today. You can use any oil you want. And I have my cashews ready as well. I'm going to get started by frying my cashews first. A lot of people actually prefer using roasted cashews in this recipe, but I like to fry my own cashews prior to the dish prior to cooking the dish because it tastes so much better when your cashews are freshly fried. All right.
Payal, do we use salted or unsalted cashews?
Unsalted cashews, so raw cashews.
Okay.
If your cashews are salted though, just use those for now. But for next time, remember to use unsalted raw cashews, the ones that look like that. Okay. All right, see my pan is starting, my wok is starting to smoke now. I'm going to reduce the heat now. And add about a tablespoon and a half of oil in there. Not too much. Do you want to come closer? Okay. And we're going to add the cashews in. Remember the heat is on low now because cashews, they cook very fast. They brown very quickly and you don't want to burn them. So put them in oil and give them a toss every few seconds. See the sizzling in there? Yeah, and see how brown they're turning so quickly? Yeah, keep giving them a toss every few seconds so they don't burn. This takes less than 2 minutes altogether. Now, some people also like adding dried chilies to this dish, the ones that we used in Kung Pao chicken. If you want to use dried red chilies in this dish later on, you totally can.
See, would it be adding addition to the chili padi?
Yes, so more chili.
Yay.
Yeah, that's if you want your dish to be nice and hot.
Will you do, because would there be any like smoke coming from the wok? Do you smell as the cashew nuts get roasted?
Well, right now I can smell cashews, nuts. Yeah.
See. And
that's
Payal,
done. See how they are?
Can we use chicken? Sorry, can we use pork instead of chicken for this dish?
Yes, absolutely. Why not? Cut it into strips, marinate it the same way, and make sure you don't overcook it.
Great.
All right, my cashews are done. I'm hoping your cashews are done too.
Feel free to share
Okay.
if your cashews are roasted to the camera, so we can
Okay.
also do.
All right, I'm just going to turn the heat off. Okay, and then I'm going to move to the sink, and I'm going to get 2 to 3 liters of water in here. This is for my pak choy. I'm prepping for my pak choy. I'm just bringing water to a boil for my pak choy. Once it comes to a boil, we can put the pak choy into. All right. So if you're done with the cashews, turn off your heat. Get about 2 to 3 liters of water in a saucepan and cover that. Bring it to a boil while you're stir frying your chicken, because the chicken dish is going to take only about 5 to 6 minutes to cook. Okay, so let's do that now. And also next, we're going to make sure our rice is in the rice cooker as well. If you haven't made it yet, we're going to do that now. Okay, so I've got about 3 liters of water here, because my saucepan is quite big. If you've got a smaller saucepan, 2 liters would do. Okay, cover this and put it on high heat and let this come to a boil. Now, it's very important to season your water when you're cooking your vegetables, and season it really well. Okay, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of salt to this. And then I'm going to taste it just to make sure it tastes salty. And this makes a big difference when especially when you're making blanched vegetables. Sounds like a lot of salt, but you know what? It's going to get in there and really give your vegetables lots of flavor. Yep, tastes salty, and that's what I want.
Is it more salty than like seawater?
No, it tastes like the sea.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what we want.
All right, let's move on to making our rice now. So my rice has been soaking. All right, just gonna rinse it out. I've already rinsed my rice before I soaked it.
Payal,
yes.
About if we want to use the pork instead of chicken, what kind of cut will you recommend for the pork?
Tenderloin. Tenderloin. Yep. One that cooks fast. Great. A good cut. Okay, let's put water in your rice and get that going as well. Okay, that should be enough water. All right. Okay, so rice done, water boiling for my pak choy, and we're gonna go back to making the chicken now. Everyone ready? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Fabulous. Okay.
Yes.
You're gonna put the heat back on, and this time you're gonna put the heat back on very high. All right.
And always wait for the wok to be heated before you add oil. Yes.
Now my wok already has a little bit of oil in it. This is from the cashews, and I'm gonna leave that in there. And to that, I'm adding another 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Okay, so all together in there, you've got 3 tablespoons of oil. Okay. 1.5 from the nuts before, and another 1.5 now from my bottle of coconut oil, fresh oil. See, it's starting to smoke already. And once it does, I'm going to bring over my garlic. Okay, throw the garlic in. And this is going to start browning straight away because the oil is really hot. See all that smoke rising? Okay, you've got to do this very fast. Everything now is really quickly. It is to be done very quickly. My chicken goes in as well.
And all this time, Payal, we keep the heat high.
Say that again, Sunil.
Yes, so high heat.
Yes, it's on high heat, and there's a reason why you do that. is so your chicken doesn't go all watery. Okay, if your heat is on low, your chicken's gonna go all watery and runny. You don't want that. Okay. Now this is gonna take about 3 to 4 minutes to cook. So keep spreading it out and then stir it again in a few seconds.
Right.
Okay.
And just a question on the blanching. No, we have not put the onion in yet, right?
We haven't put anything in yet. No, it's just boiling.
Yes.
Or you mean onion for the chicken, you mean?
Yes.
No. We've only put garlic and chicken in so far. We're cooking the chicken now. Okay. Now, usually what I do is I add the garlic and the chili together in the oil. That kind of miles the chili down and cooks it a bit, but I didn't do that now on purpose because I've got 3 chilies here and I don't want to start coughing on camera like we did last time. Okay, so finish cooking your chicken first. Give it a good 3 to 4 minutes in a hot pan, and then we'll add the chili and the other ingredients, okay?
Hi, just for the rice, do you soak it beforehand?
I have basmati rice at home right now, which I'm trying to finish, which is why I soaked it. Usually, I usually eat jasmine rice, Thai jasmine rice on a daily basis at home, and we don't soak that.
I see.
But yeah, if you're using basmati rice, you have to soak it because it's long grain and it's mature rice. It just cooks better if you soak it for about an hour prior to cooking it.
Okay, for about an hour before that.
Just basmati. Yeah, just basmati rice. Thai rice is usually quite new. It's a new grain. They package it as soon as they harvest it, which is why you don't have to soak it. And the grain is also way shorter than basmati rice.
I see.
See, my chicken now is no longer pink. And I'm guessing you guys have that too, yeah? Okay. Now at this point, you're gonna start adding the other ingredients. I'm gonna throw in my chili.
I see some really nice pans of chickens from the participants.
Good. Okay, you're gonna throw in your chili, you're gonna throw in your peppers, and you're gonna throw in your onions at this point.
Okay, now the chili padi, the bell pepper, and the onions, all 3 in the water with the chicken.
Yeah, and now you're gonna stir it for another 2 to 3 minutes. So your onions and your peppers cook a little. Again, keep the heat on high all along, the whole time. And if your heat is on high, you will see no water in there. Your dish will be dry. There'll be a little bit of moisture, but other than that, no extra water in there. Yeah, my onion starting to turn translucent now. Do you have a question, Chinyang?
No, just saying that stir fry is a really fun dish that you can make at home because you see the dish being cooked actually as you stir fried it.
And it's fast and it's easy.
Indeed.
Okay, that's good. See, my onions are now translucent. My peppers look glossy. I don't want to overcook them. So now is the time you add your sauce. Okay, so mix your sauce. Make sure you've got all that sugar that's at the bottom. Go in there. If you've used Chinese dark soy sauce in this dish, it's going to be darker than mine. Ketchup mayonnaise isn't as dark as Chinese soy sauce. It's gonna have a lighter hue to it than yours. So give it a good mix. Let all that sauce coat the chicken. Reduce the sauce slightly. On high heat again. And finally, once you think your chicken is done, which it should be by now, it's been about 6 minutes of stir frying. You are ready to throw in your last two ingredients, which are your lemon or lime juice, just about half a tablespoon of lime or lemon juice. You don't need a lot, but I'm going to take it off the heat first before I add that in. And that's because when you add lime juice, especially lime juice to your dishes, it turns bitter if your heat is still on. Okay, so take it off the heat. Throw in your lime juice or lemon juice, just about half a tablespoon. You don't need a lot. If you like your dish tangy, you can always add more later on your dinner table. And again, basil, the same rule. Don't add basil while your pan is still on the stove top. Take it off the heat and then add Thai basil or any basil you're adding, because basil is a very delicate herb and it's going to lose all that aroma if you cook it on fire. Give it a good stir. This smells really good. After I added the basil, it smells completely different now. You see the basil wilted instantly.
Yes, and the color.
Yeah, yep, and it looked very different earlier. See, it's got red and green and brown in there now. And finally, my cashews go in. Okay, that's done. Okay, that's done. Ready to eat. I'm just going to set this aside. I'm not going to cover this because I don't want it to get watery. So I'm just going to leave it open until I'm ready to serve. And I don't want my peppers to overcook either, which is why I'm not going to cover it at all. I'll just leave it as it is. My water's come to a boil. I'll just reduce the heat for a minute because I want to show you how to chop your bok choy. All right, let's have a look at the bok choy. Okay. All right, my bok choy is right here, all done. And I'm keeping it very simple. A lot of people like to open up the leaves and do it separately, but when I do bok choy, I simply cut it in the middle, halve it in the middle, and use it this way because I love the segments inside, the look of the segments inside. I think it's very pretty, and I like to keep it that way. And I'll just remove the root slightly to keep it clean, and that's it. And if you haven't prepped,
a way to cut the bok choy, because usually we just like peel off like the petals like one by one.
Yep.
But then you lose the shape.
Yep. This is what most people do.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. No, I like to do this with bok choy. I think it's very pretty on the inside.
Indeed. Payal, just a quick question about herbs leaves, right? Like lime leaves. Is it the same principle as basil that you should not add them to the wok when they are on over the flame?
Not lime leaves, just basil.
Just basil.
You shouldn't. Yeah, just basil. Lime leaves are very tough leaves. Yeah, they're very, very tough. They actually don't go bad for a very long time. They're so tough.
Long shelf life.
They do have a long shelf life. You can freeze them forever. Basil, on the other hand, doesn't freeze well at all.
Yeah. Can we use kailan for this stir fry?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can use any Chinese green vegetable for this stir fry. Okay.
And for the chicken with basil and cashew nuts, can we use peanut instead?
Yes, absolutely. Just fry your peanuts just as I did cashews and you're good. Again, you know, fried nuts, freshly fried nuts make all the difference in this recipe. And I said that during our Kung Pao chicken recipe as well. Always fry your nuts prior to cooking them, prior to using them.
Yes, if you want to learn more about how to cook the Kung Pao chicken, we can share the link with you to watch one of our earlier classes when Payal taught Kung Pao chicken as well as fried rice.
Okay, if you want to come over to the stove now, we'll get started with boiling our
And Payal, quick question about blanching the vegetables, right? Compared to steaming, which one do you think will maintain better nutrients?
Steaming is better when it comes to retaining nutrition compared to blanching. But here we're not blanching for that long today, so it's still okay. All right. Here we go. We're just going to throw them all in now on high heat.
And Payal, I have a question about washing the bok choy, because if we're not plucking out the petal the leaves one by one, how can we ensure that it's clean?
I made sure it's very, very clean. I put it under my tap for a very long time, for a good 7 to 8 minutes, to make sure there was no soil in there. See? Just make sure there's no soil in there. If you think there's tons of soil in there, then just pluck it petal by petal and don't use it whole. But mine was very clean, so I'm going to use it whole. Here we go. Now, depending on the size of your bok choy, some of you are probably using baby bok choy. It might take less time. So this is going to take about 4 minutes or so to cook. The bulbous root at the bottom, this area needs to be soft before I take it out. So I'm going to give it a good 4 minutes, and I'll check using my knife. I'll just use a paring knife. I'll poke this. When there's no resistance in the bulbous root, I'll take it out. Okay.
Okay, so 4 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, 4 minutes for my bok choy and about 3 minutes for yours. If it's even smaller, then make it 2 to 3 minutes. All right. Keep an eye on that. I will be back.
And if you're waiting for the bok choy, feel free to show us your sweet basil chicken with cashew nuts. We would love to see them.
Okay. Now, while your bok choy is coming to a boil, we're going to move on to frying our garlic and having it ready. Okay. So grab a small frying pan, everyone. A frying pan that's about this size or smaller. One that you use for eggs. Put it on medium flame. All right. Make it hot. Make sure at the same time your vegetables are submerged underwater. All right, my pan is hot. I'm going to add about a tablespoon and a half, a tablespoon or two of coconut oil again in there. Oil's getting hot. And now we're going to fry my garlic that we had chopped up earlier, the 6 cloves of garlic that we had for the bok choy. Goes in.
Sometimes we just we don't actually blanch the bok choy beforehand. We stir fry the garlic and then we just add the bok choy into the pan, to the wok. Yep. Yeah, for you, what makes the difference?
Flavor-wise, it's different. I find bok choy that's been fried in a pan way more chewy compared to one that's blanched. So, you know, any vegetables that have a thick root like bok choy does, I prefer to blanch them. We did broccoli last time. Do you remember? We actually just stir-fried the broccoli in garlic because broccoli is way more tender compared to bok choy. Bok choy can get really chewy when you stir-fry it. So even when I want to stir fry bok choy, I blanch it first and then I stir fry it quickly in garlic. Now my garlic here, it'll burn very quickly. So make sure once you put it in, and if it's browning too fast, you reduce the heat to low and keep moving the garlic like I am. Okay. All right. To make sure it doesn't over brown. Now my bok choy looks done. See that? I could poke my bok choy very easily with my knife. It went through. I'm going to take it out. I'll leave my garlic on the stove top because I know it's not going to burn. The heat is on low. And I'm going to move over to the sink because I want to take my bok choy out. Take it off the heat so it doesn't overcook. All right.
Hi, regarding the choice of oil, between coconut and olive oil, yes, which oil should we use for what type of dish? You know, what difference does the different type of oil make?
Okay, so coconut oil has a higher smoking point compared to olive oil. All right, so when you're doing a dish, especially during wok cooking, a dish like that, you shouldn't be using olive oil because it's going to disintegrate and burn very easily. Whereas coconut oil, because it has a higher smoking point, it's not going to burn on high heat. I think olive oil has a boiling point, a smoking point of about 130, 140 degrees Celsius. And when you're doing wok cooking, the temperature is way higher than that, which is why they advise you not to use olive oil when you're stir frying. Okay.
Other type of oil is fine too.
Yeah. If you want to use olive oil in cooking, as long as you're not raising the temperature too high, it's actually fine to use it in cooking. I actually use olive oil all the time for my curries and all, because curries, when you're frying the onion, it doesn't require as high a temperature as wok cooking, as Chinese cooking. So try to use a vegetable oil. Grapeseed oil is great as well. It's healthy. Avocado oil is expensive, but it's great for cooking as well on high temperatures. Okay. Now, a lot of people are scared to brown garlic. This is lots of flavor. I'm going to take it out now. It's brown. It's not black. When it turns black, that it turns bitter. Brown garlic is all flavor. Okay. I'm going to take it off the heat because otherwise it's going to continue to brown from the latent heat of my pan. Brown garlic is life. My daughter just said brown garlic is life. I agree. Okay, so that's done. And I'll leave the pan here because I might actually need it to make my eggs later on. So we're ready with the garlic. We're ready with the vegetables. We're going to go back to the computer and have a quick chat to see how everyone's doing. Okay, people. Everyone on task, give me a thumbs up if you're done with your garlic. Not quite yet. Okay. Are you done with your vegetable? Give me a thumbs up. All right, super. You're done with your chicken? Yes. All right, so we're just waiting for the garlic. Most of you are done with your vegetable already, and you're done with your chicken already. Yes. Is everyone done with the rice? How many of you are done with the rice? Give me a thumbs up if you're done with your rice. Not quite. Okay. Well, if you're not done, it's okay. I am going to show you how to finish the dish off. Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up if you want to see how to finish this dish. All right. Okay, let's move on to that. My rice is not done. I should have started earlier. I'll check if I have some rice in the fridge and I'll show you how to plate this dish now. Okay. Yeah, we actually do have some rice. I always have rice in the fridge. So Asian. I'll quickly heat that up in the microwave so the person who I give this to doesn't complain. You're not going to eat this. You're vegan. Did you forget? Okay. All right, so I have a bowl ready. This is what I'm going to use to serve today. And my rice is in the microwave. That will be done in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to heat up my chicken very quickly. The chicken's gone a little watery, but that's okay. We can reduce the water by heating it up very quickly. Okay. So just heat that up very fast while my rice is in the microwave, and I'm going to fry an egg for whoever is going to eat this. So if you have 4 people eating this, you need 4 fried eggs. Okay. Can you bring that closer so everyone can see? Come around on this side, maybe. Okay, pans on medium heat. Let's get an egg. Okay, I've got a bowl. I'm gonna crack an egg in there. My chicken's hot. Okay, I'm gonna put a tiny bit of oil in my pan. I've reduced the heat to low to medium now. Okay, this is the same pan I used for my garlic. I'm just recycling the pan here. Chicken's ready. I'm gonna turn it off. I've got to make sure my egg browns nicely at the bottom.
Payal, do you know why in this dish or in Thailand they always add an egg to like the basil chicken or basil beef?
I think it just tastes nice. That's why. It goes really well. I don't always add it, but I've noticed that as in when I do, it does taste really nice. And it looks really nice too, presentation wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Thailand as a country loves their eggs. They are addicted to chicken. They eat a lot of chicken. I think in Asia, Thailand ranks #1 when it comes to chicken consumption.
Yeah, if it's by capita, Singapore is very high as well.
Yeah. Don't Singaporeans like pork more?
No. Yes, quantity volume wise, definitely chicken is the #1 meat.
Okay. All right, I'm going to increase the heat slightly so it browns at the bottom because I want that brown crust. Yeah, my camera woman's having the hiccups right now, which is why the camera keeps shaking. Sorry. Do you want to go get some water? Okay, here we go. All right.
I want to know because you didn't crack the egg directly in the pan. Was there a reason?
Yes, that's because I just want to ensure it's not a bad egg.
Ah.
Okay, I always crack my eggs in a bowl prior to putting them in to make sure it's not a bad egg. Okay, I want to keep the yolk intact, so I'm going to take it out. All right, that's done. We are going to start putting this together now. So come with me and we'll start putting this together. All right, so I've got my rice over here. I'm going to put my rice on one side of my bowl. I'm going to put some of my bok choy, 2 to 3 pieces of bok choy.
Yes, the color is really green.
Yep. And it looks so pretty, doesn't it?
Mm.
Here we go. It's nicely cooked as well. Okay, that's done. It's enough. And I'm going to put some chicken in there. But before that, I need some oyster sauce, like about a tablespoon of oyster sauce. If you really like the flavor of oyster sauce, you can always add more. It's quite salty, so go easy on it. About a tablespoon is enough on top of your leaves. Some of your garlic. I'm going to split the garlic into 4 portions and use one of the portions on top of my leaves.
And
along with the
we have a
oil.
question. Do we need to soak the bok choy in cold water after blanching?
No, you don't have to. You're using it immediately, so no. My wok is right here. I'm going to place some of the chicken on the other side. Smells
Payal,
good.
when
Even
do we add the cashew nut?
we've already added the cashew nuts towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, when we finished the chicken, we actually finished it with the cashews, so they don't go soggy. That's the last thing you do.
So after the basil leaf and the
Yes.
lime
Yep.
juice. Thank you.
Okay, that's done. And finally, my egg goes on top of my rice.
Wow. This
Okay.
is so pretty.
And if you want to finish it off, if you still like your, chilies a lot, like I do, I always add an extra chili padi on
Chili
top
padi?
of my, more chili padi on top of my egg.
Powerful. By the way, I'm super hungry looking at that bowl.
Good. That was the idea.
Amazing. Yes.
Okay, so just cut it diagonally with a pair of scissors and put it on top of your egg. This is very hot, so do this only if you like your food really hot, okay? Raw chilies pack a lot more heat compared to fresh, all right? I've used only half of it, okay? That's good, all done.
How is
Ta-da!
everyone doing? Whoa.
Okay, let's have a look at how everyone's doing. Okay, I suppose everyone's garlic is done already, yes? Give me a thumbs up if you're all done and ready to eat. Awesome, I can already see some of the dishes. Oh, wow. That's amazing, well done. Okay, where did everyone else go? Fabulous. Leanne.
Oh, wow.
Is that your, that's a,
nice.
well done, Leanne, good job. Looks great.
This is from Shuwei.
Shivei. Okay, fabulous, Shivei, looks great. You ready to eat?
Beautiful. Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that.
This is from
Luis. Yeah. Good to see you, Luis. Looks wonderful. Well done.
Oh, wow. Sisi. Big, very nice. Big portion.
Yep. Fabulous, guys. Well done.
I think Rachel just said she's going to eat. Ooh. Also, yeah.
Yeah, if you're getting hungry, eat, please. Yeah, Rachel's ready to eat. I can see her food. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today, guys. I'm glad you could make it, all of you. And before you take off, I quickly want to say, keep cooking. It's so great that, it's not great that we've been trapped for the past 2.5 months, but it's great that lots and lots of you have started cooking at home and have started to enjoy cooking at home. So keep going. And I hope to see you again next Saturday. Next Saturday's class is also free, so please feel free to join. And if you haven't already got my book, I quickly want to go through it. Some of you asked what's in my book. I'll quickly give you a quick.
Yes, because nowadays, thinking about what to cook can give you a headache. That's why I think the recipe book will come in very handy.
Okay, so it's a Southeast Asian cookbook. It's called Curries for the Soul, but it's not all curries. It's got tons of recipes in there. It starts off with salads. It's got appetizers. So it's got salads, dips, and appetizers from all over Asia, some from the Middle East as well. It's got tons of curries from India, from Thailand. The dish that we did today is in there too. And finally, we've got breads in there too. So lots and lots of recipes. I know a lot of you, if you've been coming to my classes, you have it already. So please keep cooking. And if you have any questions, please ask, okay? And
yes, I would like to order one. How can I order the book?
You can order the book by going on our website, communekitchen.com. I think I sent you the link in the Feedtrix link that you received. So yeah, you can order it directly on cooking, guys, and I will see some of you next Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Have fun. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great weekend and see you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Bye.
you. Bye bye.